The Pistons are the basketball champions of the world.
Detroit, it's time. It's playoff time, Detroit. Let's go to work.
Shout out Detroit. I got to buff up, you know what I'm saying? Detroit, I'm all the way in. Detroit Pistons, I'm all the way in. Let's do it.
What's up, Pistons fans? Welcome back to the best POD in the 313. We are the Buffs On podcast. Minus Amit, a big part of the Buffs On podcast. Just me, Gabe, and Connie here today, coming to you live when the Pistons are number one in the NBA by win percentage. Oklahoma City Thunder losing last night. Pistons have now the least losses in the NBA. Pretty dang awesome. Heading into the All-Star break, couldn't be in a cooler spot. Really quick, if any of you guys are not podcast listeners, seems like Connie missed the Pistons quarter zip memo before we started here today.
What is it?
But moving into some things. What's that?
Where do you guys get these Pistons quarter zips? Because I don't have one of these.
Uh, sucks to suck. But a couple days late here, but we're gonna quickly address these suspensions. Obviously, we saw the penalties for the big brawl in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center. Give our 2 cents on it. We gotta have an interesting conversation about that. Talk about this win in Toronto before the Pistons did go on to the All-Star break. Very good, slept-on win, in my opinion. Touch on the upcoming All-Star break. And the second half of this podcast is gonna be super exciting. We've got an expansion draft, so we're gonna decide who we protect, essentially, not a draft. The 8 players, up to 8 players, we're gonna protect in an expansion draft, kind of in the news right now, with a couple of expansions likely happening in the near future, guys. But let's start with the game against Charlotte. More so the suspensions. Miles Bridges and Musa Diabate each receiving 4 games. Jalen Duren 2, Isaiah Stewart 7 for his part. I've got my opinions, but I've opened up some conversation. So, Connie, what do you think? I know we've talked about on text, all of us here, but 7 games sound good. Fair with what Charlotte got. Happy with JD. What are your overall reactions when you saw this? I know we're a few days removed now for a different opinion, perhaps.
I was honestly expecting more from Stu, like to get more games. I think Charlotte more or less got what they deserved there. Nobody hopped off the bench. They did really get to the fighting, and that got them both 4 games, which is big. JD starting it gets 2. But Stu only getting 7 was kind of a surprise to me. I mean, we all love Stu, but in around the NBA and especially NBA decision makers, he can absolutely be classified as a guy with a history of these sort of things and altercations and such. And I thought that would play in a little bit more. I mean, there was talks about getting 20 games, and I thought that would really, really fuck up our season a little bit. 7's not too bad. He cost himself about like $1 million, $700,000 or something there. But I think, I mean, it's not good. Like, I understand Stu is the enforcer on this team, and that's part of what he's here for, is to be the tough guy that stands up for his teammates. And he did do it to stand up to JD. I mean, we saw last week when Jonas Valanciunas put him in a headlock, he simply walked away and put his hands up, right? Like, when it's him, it seems to be okay, but when it's his guys, he's out there, which is noble. But what's more effective for Stu, to me, what the more important part of Stu is, rather than his enforcer tendencies, is his abilities on the basketball court. His abilities to be the best rim protector in the NBA for the minutes that he's out there, to the space of the floor from the 4 position, to be on the court. And I just really don't like it from Stu, honestly. And I think it sets up a weakness. Can you guys a weakness and an opportunity that teams can exploit against us? Did I cut out right there?
No, we heard you.
Okay, I got a call, so I don't know if I did. A team I think this is something that teams might be able to exploit against us. Like, what if we do get into a first round series with Charlotte, right? I mean, the tensions were high in a regular season game. What are they going to be in game 4 of the first round of the Eastern Conference, when the teams are going back and forth and talking, and obviously some lower level altercations happen, right? Is Stu going to do something to protect his guys, something I might call stupid, to protect his guys, and then get kicked out for another 7 games? Or with this adding to his history, get kicked out for 8 games, and then he's just out for the playoffs? And then we're just missing a key rotation piece. I think there needs to be some, I don't know. I don't want to say growth.
On one hand, I completely agree with you that he needs to be on the court, but like he only went there once Miles Bridges continued to escalate it. Um, like you mentioned, he has made strides. He has made progress in that department of his like anger management, I guess. Um, if we want to go out and break Jalen Brunson's leg with Bobby Clinton, that could happen, right? We could do that, but it's not going to happen. So I think it's like the same type of thing. Like no one's going to antagonize Stu more than him antagonizing them. That's just what I believe. There's always a freak chance that could happen. I think it is far more important now to enforce for your team, for guys who called his little brother, right? The chemistry that builds, I think, is stronger than him missing games because we do have B-ball Paul Reed as a backup. So in the playoffs, if it happens, it's bad. Obviously, Connie, you mentioned Draymond Green in the group chat that he basically cost his team the title. So there are real consequences, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he has himself under control. It's not where he gets like flagrants and texts and stuff. It's just when something crazy happens, he kind of is that next level guy. And yeah, so that's I think it's a fair punishment overall. I think the NBA did a pretty good job on this one.
I think they did a pretty good job. I think it is reasonable, but I also want to note that I don't think these things happen and there's no conversation afterwards within our organization. And I think that is especially perhaps more true right now because I think there are serious consequences. If Stu does this exact action again in terms of leaving the bench to attack somebody, doesn't matter who it is, if he goes to do that, it will be 25. It could be more. If this happens again this season at any point, his season is done for the most part, I would assume. I excuse me. I do think that's a conversation that's had within the team, but I also think internally, Isaiah Stewart missed the playoffs last year. You know, a different world. We could have a different world because we could have beaten the New York Knicks with Isaiah Stewart, and that's obviously been evident this season. I think he knows that, and obviously I think the people in the coaching staff around him know that, and therefore I do think there was a conversation about what's going to happen. And I'd also like to think, Gabe, Connie, I do think you're 100% right. Like that's what Stu needs to be in the court. He's crucial to us if we are going to be a team that is contending. Stu needs to be playing every game. But Gabe, in the same breath, like I don't think, I wouldn't put it past a guy like Miles Bridges to do it if they're down like 3-0, 3-1 in a series game's closing out, they do some stupid shit in the series. I could see that happening, and I could see a reaction coming from Stu. But that I do think that's an extreme situation, and I just do think that that perhaps won't happen so much. So I think there is a conversation to have about that. But I'm gonna go ahead and like trust our organization. I'm gonna trust Stu that like he knows his own value within the team in terms of a basketball sense. But in the same breath, I just want to know I love it. I love it. I love it. Not to mention the guy he went after. I do think that there was perhaps some added motivation to that for Stu. But you can't. I mean, yeah, you can say there's a lot of things the Pistons did wrong. I'm not going to say the specific things, but Miles Bridges goes out close fist, tries to hit Duran. You know what's going to come to you. And I love it. I love that our whole team knows that that's there. That's who we are. We have to embrace that. We embody our O4, our bad boys. Every team that's been successful in Detroit embodies that same culture, and we got to live up to it. And this is a key defining moment for it. Happy with the suspensions. Would you have adjusted anything else suspension wise, you guys, or are you happy with the numbers?
And
No.
Bridges for life.
Yeah.
Um, I
Just one more thing, and don't get me wrong, I was hype as hell when he did it, and I do love it in that stands up for his guys, and we have like this extremely close team. There was a story recently that came out. I forgot who the author was, but it was about the Pistons. It was about Duran and Stu, and it really just came out how incredibly close these guys are.
I think that was Fred Katz.
Fred Katz, yeah. How incredibly it is like we have some of the best chemistry. I think maybe the best chemistry, the best closest. It's like a family here, and it's freaking awesome. But last thing I thought was hilarious was that both in their post game interviews, JD and Bickerstaff kind of had this like notion like, Yeah, teams just teams just want to fight us for some reason. We never really instigate, and we don't really know why it happens, but teams just want to fight us. And I thought that was so funny because, like, come on, man, like,
Although one thing I think that went under the radar in the lead up to the initial like Diabate Duran incident is I think like maybe three possessions out of the last four in the lead up, Diabate is slapping the shit out of Jalen Duran
He's
because
getting
he can't keep up
destroyed.
with him.
oh yeah,
JD hit him with the mean post fade from about 15 with the crazy bounce. Then he hit he was starting to get into his bag.
yeah. I
Um
was listening to the Hornets commentators; they were going crazy. Like when he shot it, they were like, "No way!" And
I could see that happening.
But the Pistons do ask for it. They play an incredibly
Yeah,
physical
we do.
and fouling. We lead the NBA in fouls. That's how we want to play. But
And
like, and
stocks.
we get into people's faces, and it's like
That's what we do. Exactly.
but like just accept that that's what we do, and it's not just like out of nowhere that teams are attacking the poor old
No,
Pistons.
that's what we do, and hell yeah, that we do it. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love that he stood up for his guy. But obviously some suspensions led into the Toronto game following and rotational wise afterwards. Most importantly, B ball Paul gets yet another opportunity to shine. I just want to know actually I should before we don't win that game in Charlotte without his massive productivity coming in, sitting on the bench the whole game, comes in, shoots free throws, bang corner three in front of the Hornets bench. Oh man, that made me feel good.
Another one that freaked out the Hornets commentators.
I can imagine every player reaction when Paul Reed scores. There was a funny one with Vucevic earlier. They're just in disbelief at how tough he is. Um,
And that how that stupid ass jump shot goes in. Yeah.
But Paul Reed took that into the first quarter, especially. What was it, 16 in the first quarter, seven for
8 of 8.
seven, 8 of 8, excuse me, against Toronto. Finished the game extremely well. Pistons dominate all 48 minutes against Toronto. This was one of the better games. I think this was incredibly slept on. I think in terms of media recognition as well, I feel like I didn't hear much about this victory at all. Raptors have two All-Stars, guys. They have two All-Stars. Brandon Ingram's an All-Star. Um, and they're apparently a pretty good team, and the Pistons completely dismantled them without three core rotational pieces. I thought Cade, I mean, obviously the jumper, but he just seemed like he took another gear, and it seemed from the get-go, defensively everywhere. He just seemed to have that another level. Greg Kelser hit on it so much, and I just want to touch on it. He seemed like the Pistons, like they were giving extra all-out energy. This was like theoretical playoff energy because we have this break coming up. Cade looked so good, guys. I thought this was a great win outside of P. Reed and Cade. Feel free to give them more flowers, but what do you guys think about the game?
Yeah, the Raptors aren't very good against good teams. Their commentators mention that a lot. Unfortunate to listen to them. It's just I heard JB explain our kind of play style, defense waves. Like you just keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, and eventually the opponent will erode away under you. And didn't take too long against these Raptors who can't shoot at all like us. Cade was hot. I mentioned his left foot kind of little hop off the right when he goes left seems a little more smoother. Um, yeah, I mean, it was clinical. It's like what we've done to a lot of teams this year where we just, we're too big, we're too strong, we're better than them, and it ends up in a dominant win.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it again, when that Cade three-pointer is falling, there's nothing that the other team can do. It's just it's game over. Because like really the only hope that you have against Cade is like to sag off, provide the extra help when he drives, like just force him into tough middies and tough finishes at the rim. But if he's going 6 of 11 from downtown, like the defender's just in hell. Like
They were
you,
all close too. All the
they're all close, and then yeah, they started like really playing him up, and it's like, all right, sure, hit that anyway. And it's like you do that, then everything else opens up behind it, and it's just, I mean, I said in the chat, we've got to see it for more than like one game every once in a while, but like a K three-pointer just makes his whole game open up in such an incredible way. And Paul Reed again, just like almost a kind of flirting close to a 5-by-5 game. Just dominant in like all aspects of the game. Um, which yeah. I mean, we were gonna go into it, but like I don't know if he was on my protection draft last time, but things may have
I'm
changed.
convinced he would lead all starting centers in stocks per game if he was given the opportunity. Seven of them against Toronto for I think
Is
with
he the
four.
best third string center in the NBA?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
Hey,
might be
yeah,
the
right.
best backup big in the NBA.
That's why I'm gonna continue to advocate for when Stu does return that we can maybe slot in some Stu P. Reed minutes on the bench rotation because there's no reason it shouldn't. We should continually overlap three bigs, in my opinion. Um, yeah, I thought it was just an excellent win all around. I know Danis Jenkins didn't shoot the ball all too well, but his ability to be a floor general and to get a team into an offense, I think, is just has been game changing to this team. I know that's kind of what Ivy was kind of supposed to do, but Danis is really good, I think, at just getting to spots and getting guys to their spots. Karis LeVert looking all right. I think looking pretty better, but Kevin Huerter, Kev
Hit
Dog,
a
knocked
three
down his
pointer.
first three-pointer in Piston colors. Looked okay. Looked okay. Some of his jumpers looking less confident, but maybe that one can kind of lead him into a better headspace going into the break and come back knocking some shots down.
It's kind
Uh
of old news now. Have you guys heard the Karis LeVert nickname?
no,
It's
what
like
is it?
kind of on Twitter and Reddit a little bit. I just
No.
saw it again recently on like a top 10 slander nicknames. Careless pervert.
No, I did not.
I don't think that one's gonna stick.
It's been sticking pretty good on Pistons Twitter. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, they don't like him very much, but
I wonder if it's on Basketball Reference.
I hope not. Well, Cares, it's not like that, Cares. Um, and I just quickly want to say one thing I think that's gone. I don't know if it's gone under the radar for you guys. Not just the all around play of Duncan Robinson, but it's everything but the three pointers for me for Duncan Robinson right now. It's been like extremely noticeable to me every single game. Uh, career high points in the paint against Charlotte, 7 for 7. What? That's Duncan Robinson we're talking about. It seems to just be overall getting to the hoop a little bit more. And defensively, like I would go so far as he's not like a I'm not gonna say a guy you target anymore, but he's not a traffic cone by any means. Like,
No.
he's legit hanging in. It is hilarious. I think you can only accredit it to like the culture of the team here, like the defensive culture. It's infectious. It seems to have gotten onto Duncan Robinson, which has made him much more useful and like usable, I should say, not useful. Usable in certain situations. He's been great. Just wanted to give him flowers on that end of the game as well. But we're moving into the All-Star weekend real soon. Gabe, sorry, you have something there?
Yeah, could I drop one more thing in honor of Herder and Duncan playing together that game on the court, sharing it. I have a quick top five white guys in the NBA.
Okay.
Of course, Duncan Robinson is on that list.
Just by
He's on,
ability?
no, this is just I think you'll see. This is just
Stereotypical white
the
guy.
top five, yeah. Kevin Love, got to be on this list. Good guy. Sam Merrill, that's a white guy right there. Austin Reeves, of course, he's a hooper, and then rounding out the top five is Luke Cornett.
Yep.
Those aren't five white guys right there.
Oh, no
Wait,
tattoos on any
I'm
of them.
sorry. Was the list just like five white guys in the NBA?
I think
Yeah.
it's a stereotypical white guy.
Okay, sure.
Like Luke Cornett, if he wasn't 7 foot, looks like he works an office job, you know?
Yeah.
Questionable.
It looks like he
No.
gives you
Yeah,
a
he's
good head nod when he
constantly-
walks by you.
he's a snub, yeah.
Well, yeah, good
Anyway,
looking.
Grady,
Valley
Grady Dick
All-Star.
looks like every undergrad I see around the college campus, except that he's 6'8".
Well, All-Star Weekend is coming up. Admittedly, I don't know the format because I don't give a hoot.
You
But
want to know it?
what's that?
Do you want to know it?
Uh, I've got a vague idea. Give me the briefest of
We got
rundown.
like three teams. There's two U.S. teams and one
Stars, stripes,
Euro
bronze,
team.
right?
The Stars and Stripes team. They'll basically all play each other in each quarter of the game. So like it's one game, but each quarter is a different matchup, and
One
then
game.
like the fourth quarter is the
I
finals.
I thought that was horrible, especially for Cade's first All-Star appearance last year. The fact he got one quarter of action. Um, anyways, I have a few questions about it. First one is, are you guys watching? You guys
No.
watching the All-Star game? No?
Oh wait, yeah.
It,
I'll
I
watch
don't
the
know.
highlights on YouTube.
I guess maybe in your situation, but I think I'll tune in a little bit. I'll see what
I'm
Cade
gonna
and
watch the
Pearson's done.
quarters where the what is it, the Stars team or the Stripes team, whatever the team that Jalen Duren and Cade are on.
Yeah, you got to. Um,
Actually, you think Duren can do one of his suspension games here?
we could have him for New York. But I think something I kind of noticed in general, but perhaps out of last year too, is Cade kind of likes to seize this moment in the All-Star weekend, but likes to seize big moments in general. And I note that Wemby, I say, is like the most significant person, like in terms of effort. Tries the hardest in the All-Star weekend, the All-Star game. Think Cade will ignite something, kind of push for an MVP push here? Could he try to really go and show out Cade, or you think he's just going to be chilling for the most part? Or is this something where you could use the platform to maybe spark some controversy and some MVP hype?
I think it's a great point. Yeah, I mean, his name is kind of being thrown around right now. It's like the next USA guy, you know, him and Ant pretty much. If he goes out here and becomes like, viral a little bit or just like dominates, like you said, it could be a nice springboard to his first MVP here, depending who else qualifies at the end of the season.
He gets MVP, couple of highlights capped off by doing something on Wemby. Connor,
I don't think so. I think it's Cade seems to be a guy that's driven by like winning basketball games that matter. I think we'll see pretty lackadaisical play. I think we'll probably see some pretty cool plays with Duran. I think Duran probably has I think a bigger chance for me of going hard in this game. I think we'll definitely see some Cade Duran play that the announcers will talk about, which will be cool. But no, I don't see this game being any better than the ones in the past
no.
10 years.
Why would they? I think they're going to be pretty boring to watch. But it will be extremely exciting to see our guys.
Are
No
you
other.
guys
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you guys gonna watch any All Star Saturday night stuff? The dunk contest with one guy that has made 4 dunks this season, a big man, and then I don't even know the other 2 guys.
Um,
It's
uh,
Jackson Hayes, Jace Richardson,
I
and
might, I might happen to turn it on, but I don't think so. I like watching the 3-point contest. It's
are
always
they gonna
fun to me.
are they
I
gonna have
love
the
that stuff.
WNBA players in the 3-point contest again? Because that was cool. I like that was like the best I think Saturday night stuff that's happened in a while is when Sabrina beat Steph. I thought that was really neat. I would love to see. I mean, I'm saying it, but like some sort of comedy where we can get like the big WNBA names in there, Sabrina Page,
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark, shooting some threes. Like people would like that. I would like that.
I would like that too. Real
So that'd
quick,
be fun.
um, official retirement, Chris Paul. So no buyout market candidate right there. I had to pitch in. Gabe, you're gonna say something related to the topic?
I forgot.
My bad.
Yeah. So what a retirement tour from Chris Paul.
What a
Goes out, team
retirement tour.
sucks, gets dropped, team gets good, and then he retires. That's rough.
Rough indeed. I want to say McMillan. I'm forgetting his first name. I do believe the son of Nate McMillan is going to be assistant coaching at the All-Star game. He is the coach of the Motor City Cruise, having some more representation there. I'm not overlooking any Piston representation other than that. Am I in the All-Star weekend with JD out of the All-Star of the dunk contest?
No. Oh, did they? There were some Alex Sarr in the Rising Stars game went down. I don't know if they've announced his replacement, but Ron should be an option for that.
I
Perhaps.
don't think they'll have a replacement.
If you could send one, give me two representatives because 3-point would be a little too obvious. Or give me one other than Duncan Robinson. You just send one Piston representative for each event. Who are you sending and where? And you can't send Duncan to 3-point because it's too easy.
Um, I'm sending Paul Reed everywhere. The 3-point contest, put him in the dunk contest. Skills challenge still thing? No.
Is it really not?
No,
I'm sending
done.
Chaz Lanier to the 3-point contest, whose name it may be coming up soon. One last thing I want to say. I love when Greg Kelser always says, "I love Paul Reed." It makes me always really happy. All right. Part two of the podcast is our who we would protect in this expansion draft scenario, with the inevitability of the expansion of the NBA. Remind me, is it what is it? Are they both? Is it Seattle is one? Or is Vegas going to be the other? As of now, is that kind of the rumor
Yeah, those are the teams, and then it's gonna be I don't know,
of reshaping of the conference? And somehow after
maybe
that,
Minnesota moves east.
So we'll see what happens there in the coming years of the NBA. Super interesting as there's evidently so much talent in the NBA as we see with Danis Jenkins, for example, now being a key guy. I'm sure I would assume we all have locks, but let's figure out. So in an expansion draft scenario, uh 8 players you can choose to protect. Gabe, and remind me what are the specifications? Who is not eligible protected in a scenario like this?
Yeah, so you can't protect expiring guys who aren't restricted agents. So Tobias Harris, Kevin Herter, and Javonte Green are ineligible to be protected.
Which makes the list a bit interesting, or perhaps a bit less interesting. But let's move into the list then. We have 8 guys, and I think there's a few guys we can obviously cross out. Let's start with our two All-Stars, Cade and Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, Danis Jenkins, the Dunkyard Dog. I all have his locks.
Yeah.
In- yeah, interesting that you didn't mention Ronald there to start, but you mentioned Dennis.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry. I do have a Ronald Holland in there. I do apologize.
hold on. Repeat. You had Dennis Jenkins as a lock?
Yeah.
I did not have Dennis Jenkins as a lock.
Ooh, interesting.
No, yeah.
He was actually the last guy I put on the list.
That makes it interesting.
I think Cade, JD, Stu, Ronald, Asar are like the 5 locks.
Ron is a
Yeah.
lock, 100%. Yeah,
And
I
then
totally commit that.
Dunkyard Dog, yes, is also a lock. Are you both
I
in
think
agreement?
you got to keep. I mean, all those automatic, and then Duncan you have to keep on
So that's
because
6.
I think like if this team had no shooters, I think things would get pretty rough in the expansion situation.
So I have 7 of my spots then gone.
Who's your 7 then? Oh,
Cade,
Dennis?
Jalen
Yeah.
Durden, yeah, Danis Jenkins in there. I have
Okay,
Danis
that's the
locked.
next guy. Yeah. So it's between Dennis, B-Ball Paul, Chaz,
And
Sasser,
Marcus
Karis
Sasser.
Levert, and Bobby Clinton.
Yep. I
And
I didn't even consider Karis LeVert in this, nor Bobby Pittman.
neither did I. I think you probably would maybe get protected, but yeah. So I ended up with those last two going with Paul Reed and Dennis Jenkins. Dennis Jenkins, I thought hard about. I was thinking about taking Chaz Lanier, but he just hasn't done enough in the NBA to really show anything or to like even convince me that he would get drafted, right? Because like it's like the guys you put up are like unprotected guys aren't automatically drafted, right? They pick from that pool.
Yeah.
Um, so I
And theoretically, a team can only lose one person from each team. So, like, if Seattle picks, they can only pick one Piston guy, and then Las Vegas could pick one Piston.
oh okay yeah. So those are the guys I protect. I think this is kind of a pretty straightforward exercise, but it does bring into the I guess the conversation here is like we all protect Paul Reed.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, and that was like a no-brainer. That was a no-brainer for me, honestly.
Did you I don't know if did you listen to No Dunks by any chance?
Nah, I kind of stopped listening to those guys.
He's drafted Paul Reed in his theoretical draft. So
Yeah, so like
Heats, no Paul
that
Reed.
that is someone you protect, I think. Then I think the most interesting conversation is like you had Dennis as a lock, and I was kind of looking for a reason not to pick Janet Dennis up. Um, and I think Dennis has been very good this season, very very effective as like the backup ball handler. But I feel like whereas Paul Reed is at the absolute pinnacle of the list of third string centers, I don't think Dennis Jenkins is at the top of the list of backup point guards. And I think that is a position we could actually that could be strengthened by other people. Like I think Dennis Schroeder is better than Dennis Jenkins.
Why?
And
In
his
what?
at basketball.
Yeah, but I didn't like I in every individual category I would debate you.
Um, yeah, sure. I think one just running a team. I think Dennis just his experience and his calm hand. I think was really really good for us last year. Um, got us into actions. I think more than Dennis Jenkins does. I think he has more control over the game from the point guard position. Along with that, I think he can get a shot off better, like a tough shot. I believe in Dennis Schroeder getting a tough shot to go in, or making a tough shot an easier shot more than Dennis Jenkins. I think he's arguably a better 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
I think he's a better
That's
playmaking
bogus.
passer. I think he is an all around just yeah.
I think Dennis. I think Dennis for sure can like technically like run a team, organize a team better because he's been doing it for so long, and with so many different systems. But like I think Dennis, like given the opportunity this upcoming year, like he could have a very similar impact that Dennis should have had. The only difference is he doesn't have like the pedigree of being I forget what year Dennis Schroeder's in now, but double-digit years in the NBA. Like just known as a guy like you can pick up to be a reliable point guard, as his career record shows. And I think Dennis could actually very much like replicate a similar thing. I think when you look at it, I'd take Dennis Jenkins. I think he's a better 3-point shooter. I think he's more athletic. I think he's probably less like sneaky, less so like what am I trying to say? What's the word? Is savant a word here? Like he's a sneaky guy. He knows where to get. Kind of a turd too. Dennis is more just kind of like a dog. I'd argue he's really good at getting teams into sets too. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I don't know. I think
Is
Dennis
he
is
like
great
is
for the
Dennis
team.
Jenkins good at getting teams into sets,
I
or
think so.
does he make nice passes sometimes? Like is he? I don't really see Dennis as the guy that's like top of the key. You go here, you go here. Let me get this screen here, and I'm gonna take this screen, and
Yeah,
then
I can agree with that.
I know where the shooter on the wing is going to be because of this screen. It's more like I've hit the paint here. The defense is collapsed, and oh, there's a shooter over here on the wing, and I'm gonna sling a really cool, a very good like cross court pass to hit the shooter. But it's less like, to me, it seems less like controlling and more opportunistic. And I think there's definitely something to say of just veteran savvy. I mean, Dennis Schroeder's been in the league for a long time and played a lot of places and played well. He has incredible experience. I mean, he's got a freaking Olympic. What gold medal does he have? FIBA? He's got a FIBA gold medal.
In a world.
Leading that Germany team. I like, okay, and then the conversation against me. I just think that he fits and he works, but I think like you could put other backup point guards in that position and they would fit and work as well.
Yeah, I think you can find guys like him. Doesn't mean that you will find a guy like him if he gets taken. I think a more interesting question is next year, assuming those guys are all eligible and we re-sign, let's say Javonte Green and Tobias Harris, are you protecting those two guys over B-Ball and Dennis?
Probably Tobias, but probably not Wu.
So
Yeah, I agree.
who do you drop?
So I would probably, in that case, I would protect
Probably Reed.
Tobias and probably take out Jenkins.
I
No, because the position, but like the positional matters. Like it's like you said.
We have Marcus Sasser still, I guess, then.
I'd probably go Paul Reed in that situation, unfortunately.
Same, I
Yeah.
think.
Just because we have two other great centers, yeah.
And I guess realistically, it's not happening this year, so we would, I guess, is a real world where we would have Tobias on the roster when that happens. But then it comes to the question of Tobias would be pretty old at that point too. Well, anything else we can touch on here? Do you want to look ahead at the rest of this road trip on the other side of the break? Or
No.
for another time?
That's a ways away.
Well, then we will see Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren and JB Bickerstaff and McMillan all in action on Sunday night. I was going to say Saturday night at the All-Star game. Look out for that. Look out for Cade to see what he can do on that platform, see if he will shine. And evidently, we've been saying it so long that the future is so bright, but the future really can't be any brighter because the Pistons going into the All-Star break with two All-Stars, first in the NBA, first in the Eastern Conference. So I guess we can just say to continue to put the buffs on because the future is so bright.